Acres of flesh, yeasty rolls and all. You guys, this was my favorite episode of the season so far. We are talking Grotesquerie, episode 7. Y'all, let's get into it.
Eyes on me, apply that. Get it, don't be timid when you in it, apply that. Love up on it, give along, need it. I don't want no trip, baby, say it like it.
Here. My name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related, and I am here to put you on, okay? This foolishness. We're back to talk this foolishness, and again, I don't know what this says about me that this was my favorite episode so far of the season, but it was. I feel like we finally are finding some footing in reality and what's really happening. And not to say that I told you so, but we kind of told you so. If you are not hopping in on the Grotesquerie lives on Thursday evenings, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come on over there, posit your theories. Let's have a conversation and let's talk about it, y'all. But let's get into the half ton of trauma. Okay. We open up this episode and Merritt and Fast Eddie are talking about their plans to be wed. They love each other down. They are going to be together forever. They're about to move into a gated community. She got accepted to be on her half ton middle age show. Okay. And so Merritt couldn't be happier. But Lois is infuriated because she and Fast Eddie, in her mind, was getting Bucky naked. Okay. She said he was all in her mouth, is what she said. All right. And he said, "Stop this. Why are you playing these games, lady? Don't do that. Don't even play like that, Lois." Lois said, "You know you want me. I'm the baddest bee." Okay. And I said, "Oh yeah, she really in a coma. This is really in her delusion. Not that Niecy Nash not fine. She big fine. But come on, girl, you the baddest. You the baddest of them all." And the way that she roasted her own child in this moment, like I said, acres of flesh, folds, yeasty rashes, and then aired out the daddy. Said your daddy was effing his students, a fornicator and an adulterer. Pushing, listen, she said, all I ever wanted was for y'all to be strong for me because it's all about me. Okay. It's all about me. It's my world. Y'all just squirrels. Okay. And she said, but y'all couldn't even live up to that. Y'all couldn't even be strong for me. Okay. Fast Eddie says, listen, we never dated, ma'am. I don't know you. Depart from me. I never knew you. And Merritt's like, Mama, don't do this. You need help. And he said, listen, we tired of taking it easy with you. You gonna take your A to rehab. He got real crunk. I said, okay, Travis, I like it. I like it. All right. And she said, what you won't do is gaslight a black woman. I know we was together. I know you wanted all of this. Okay. And she takes her drink, breaks glasses, storms out because she just can't handle it. But lady, even in your delusion, in your coma, you left him alone with your child in that house. What did you expect? Next, we see Niecy, excuse me, Lois reporting to Marshall's Hospital, Nurse Red, and now we get to meet another person. We meet the doctor who's running everything. And basically she says to him, listen, pull the plug. It's time. It's time to pull that plug. Your nurse was his mistress. She's been carrying on all sorts of illicit situations, and I'm done. Pull the plug. I'll read him a poem. We'll say our goodbyes, and that's it. But I'm ready to be over it. And he's like, are you sure, ma'am? You don't want to, does he need a priest? No, he's half Jewish, but he liked puss and pork chops. So we're going to go ahead and proceed. Nurse Red, Big Red, is having a meltdown because this is the love of her life. Okay. This is the love of her life. The man that she thought, I don't know, in a delusion that she was going to be with forever. And again, this is all in Niecy's mind. Okay. All in her mind. They proceed to pull the plug. Niecy reads Emily Dickinson and takes shots of whiskey. Said it's his two favorite things, whiskey and poetry. And he can go off into the thing because, again, he was an adulterer and a fornicator. Okay. Next thing we see is a newspaper headline talking about deliverance from evil. Father Freak Daddy did it all. And we knew that, y'all. What's new? What's new? We already knew. We already knew. We already knew. She's at the crime scene now going through things. And who do we see but her wife in real life? I said, okay, you better get her a role. You better get her a walk on role. We better get her a walk on role. And so she's going through all the grotesquerie stuff, the museum of evil and all of that. And she stumbles on like a nurse's report, right? And it says her organs will no longer be viable. We need to take her off of life support. And it specifically says her. So we know this isn't Marshall. We know this is her. Next, she's called in to the police because they're celebrating her win, or so she thinks, but they're really celebrating her retirement because her bestie from Grey's Anatomy says, listen, I'm not asking you to retire. I'm telling you, you get 145K a year forever. That's your pension. Plus, you're gonna get Marshall's pension too. So go on. You can do all the things that you wanted to do. Niecy said, I'm not over. And I wish you would try to fire me. Girl, she said AI is taking over. I just went to a conference about transformation, and they're going to do that. But they need me. They need me. Again, in Lois's delusion, everyone needs her. She is integral to everyone's life. Okay. That's just how it is. Um Now we're at dinner and Sister Mary Clarence is there and Lois is cooking up a batch of soup or something, a stew maybe. They're talking and Lois is like, something doesn't feel right. This case isn't quite soft because it was awfully convenient that you were with at all the crime scenes. And I'm thinking to myself, Lois, you told her to meet you at most of these crime scenes. Ma'am, where are you going? Okay. She's going on, yeah, you were awfully friendly with Father Freak Daddy too. Huh. And you recovered very quickly from those gunshots in the desert. Hmm. Was that by chance? I mean, it seems awfully, like a coinky dink that he didn't hit any major arteries and that you didn't bleed out in the desert. What are you getting at? Me? Me? It couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. But before that, I'm sorry, I missed the most important thing as far as Sister Mary Clarence and Father Freak Daddy. The diocese wants her to continue, but she wants full autonomy and she wants to hire her own staff. And this was the dream. This was the goal. She wanted to be in control. She wanted to get some of Father Freak Daddy, but she also wanted to be in control. So now we're in the kitchen and Lois is on to her, baby, and a battle ensues. And I said, Sister Mary Clarence had more fight in her than I thought she did. I mean, it's a knockdown, drag out. She gets the blade. She's Niecy, Niecy, any other time, Niecy has her blicky. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you're hurling all of these allegations in this kitchen and you're not putting any distance between you and Sister Mary Clarence. Maybe you thought because she was an itty bitty when she wasn't gonna get you, baby. But the way she tried to gut you like a fish in that floor, I don't know what to make of it. So I mean, they're battling. This is the knockdown drag out. All right. Now we're back in reality. Marshall's sitting there at dinner with Merritt and Mullet Jr., aka Travis Kelsey, aka Fast Eddie. Okay. And in real life, Merritt has 2 doctorate degrees. She is the overachiever of the year because she was always vying for Lois's affection and love. And that, if I do these things, I will manage to earn her love. And that was the case in real life. And so Marshall's sitting there eating his fabulous meal. And she says, listen, me and Fast Eddie aren't working. He works at the Cinnabon. I've got 2 doctoral degrees, but he's just taking the cake at this point. And Marshall's like, what, did he cheat? And she's like, no, I could deal with a hall pass right now because there's somebody in my office that I want to take you down. Okay. No, it's not that. It's worser than that. And so Fast Eddie starts talking. I never had a family. I was raised in foster care. She's like, listen, you have a mullet. You work in the mall at Cinnabon. You're terrible. And I mean, she's mean as hell to this man. Okay. But we come to find out that Fast Eddie, aka Mullet Jr., was smashing Lois for the past 2 years. Marshall's done. He can't take it. He leaves off, and what does he do? He's so outdone. He goes to his mistress's house. Big Red, who has an OnlyFans, who is dancing for her OnlyFans constituency, okay? And he says, well, this is my apartment. And she said, how you gonna get mad at Lois for an affair for 2 years when you've been screwing me for 6? I said, well, and he said, it's because it's family. That's our son-in-law. She said, look, think about all the things you done did to that lady. But he's still done. He's at the hospital and he's like, listen, pull the plug. But first, he goes and he whispers in her ear and says, listen, Lois, Uh, I don't know if you're in there. I don't know if there's an ember of you in there, but if it is, I hope it is so that you can know what fear feels like. Because I'm pulling this plug tomorrow at 10 a.m. Yeah. And he took her peonies and threw them in the trash. I said, well, cold blooded, take the flowers back and everything. But I mean, sir, you've been having an affair. Why is it ain't what good for the goose is good for the gander? How are you mad when you the one that been stepped out? She just stepped out 2 years ago to your knowledge. How are you mad like this? But he said, it's over. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you. I'm sick of you. Goes and talks to the doctor and says, listen, pull the plug. The doctor says, what? You don't want to sit with this and take some? He said, no, I'm ready to do it now. Uh, 10 a.m. tomorrow. Maybe you can, donate the body to science. Do something with the body. Do something with the body. Maybe you can donate it to science. That liver, they could put it on pamphlets for AA meetings. This part tickled me. And maybe this is the reason this is my favorite episode because I stand Courtney B. Vance. And finally, we're getting to see him shine in episode 7. Baby, because he did everything I needed him to do. Did everything I needed to do. In real life, turns out that Sister Mary Clarence is actually the chief of police. And she and Lois were kind of rivals, in the career, apparently. Lois was really a cop, which again, it doesn't give in the coma, but maybe in real life it was different. You know what I mean? Father Freak Daddy is the doctor. He the doctor that's gonna pull the plug. And it all makes sense because if you have this doctor that's constantly saying you need to be taken out, you're in a comatose vegetative state, but you can hear that, you would think he was grotesquerie and a serial unaliver too. So we get there 10 a.m. Everybody's saying goodbyes. The chief decides to come. Fast Eddie with the mullet decides to come because they want to say their goodbyes. And Marshall's spazzing out, cussing everybody out. What are you doing here? You can't come in here. You wrote all kind of reports on her. She hated you. And she said, listen, just because she hated me doesn't mean I didn't respect her in her career. She says, get out of here. Merritt's like, Dad, if you do this and don't let them in, you can say goodbye to mom today and me. He said, pull the damn plug. Pull the plug. I'm sick of it. Father Freak Daddy goes to give the injection. She starts levitating back to the scene of the kitchen. She and Sister Mary Clarence fighting. It ain't over. It ain't over till it's over. Okay. And so they're fighting. She gets the blicky finally because Lois always has a blicky and is always firing, except for in this case. But she gets her. She stops levitating, comes back to the bed, heart rate's increasing. They're like, oh, she's alive. The dead has arisen, y'all. So Lois will be back in real life. What does this mean? Are we going to get a fleshed out version of these characters? Is there a simultaneous serial unaliver in the real reality that's going on? I think it's interesting to present this in episode 7. It makes me wonder what we're going to experience in these next 3 episodes. You guys drop it below. Did this meet your expectations? What did you think of this episode? Was it everything you thought it was going to be? I mean, like I said, I was very entertained. I feel like we finally have some sort of footing in reality and I'm interested to see how the dynamic plays out. We kind of figured that all of these people in her mind were different aspects of her, but maybe they are just different renditions of the people that she knew in real life, which makes sense in how she's categorizing them and how she sees them in her mind. I mean, these are all the things she's probably wanted to say uh, that are just coming out in her psyche, in her subconscious. I'm interested to see how they're going to move forward. But you guys drop it in the comments below. Let me know what you thought. If you're still here, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also be sure to check out our Grotesquerie lives. They're super fun. Every Thursday night, we get into the weeds of it all. And yeah, thanks for watching. Have the most amazing day, evening, night.